My scumbag neighbor deliberately ran a sewage pipe straight into my rice field. I watched filthy wastewater flood over my seedlings. I didn't argue, I didn't call the cops. Instead, I quietly pumped every drop of that sewage out. Then I planted hundreds of poplar trees. While everyone laughed at me for being a pushover, none of them knew that the trees I'd just planted were quietly taking root, straight toward my neighbor's foundation. One morning, I walked into my rice field like any other day, but suddenly, something warm and wrong wrapped around my ankles. Then came a smell so thick and disgusting, it hit me like a punch to the skull. Raw sewage, that's what it was. My stomach turned inside out. A dark brown liquid was oozing, right out of the corner of my field berm, spreading across the rice field I'd worked so hard to tend. The seedlings that were bright green just days ago, already yellowing, dying. In that moment, I just stood there, completely frozen. The heartache hit so hard I could barely breathe. This land was passed down to me from my mom, the only thing our family had left from our ancestors, the only thing keeping me and my mom afloat. I followed the source of that black sludge, and there in the weeds, a gray-white PVC pipe was just sitting there out in the open, its opening still dripping with brownish liquid. The other end of that pipe ran straight to my neighbor Wang Fugui's place, that brand new luxury villa he just finished building. Something snapped inside me. Rage hit like a flash fire. Every inch of my body was shaking. My fists clenched tight. My body was trembling. From pure, uncontrollable fury, Wang Fugui's smug, untouchable face loomed larger and larger in my mind. The way he'd bossed the whole village around every single day, like everyone else was just dirt under his feet. And when he was building that villa, just to grab a few extra feet of land, he shoved my field berm inward. Just straight up took it. Every single thing he'd done hit me like a red-hot iron, searing into me over and over. Every part of me wanted to storm over there, grab the hoe by the field, and smash that shiny front door of his to pieces. Grab him by the collar and ask him if his heart was made of the same filth he pumped into my field. But right as I lifted my foot to go, I thought about my aging mother at home. So I forced myself to take deep breaths over and over, cold air hitting scorching lungs, sharp and stinging. I swallowed back every curse word that had clawed its way up to my throat, along with every urge to throw hands. With someone like him, arguing is the most useless thing you can do. And calling the cops? In this village, disputes like this almost always go nowhere. Best case, they'd make him move the pipe and pay me a couple $100 for the damaged seedlings. But what about my dignity? What about this land he treated like his personal toilet? That kind of loss is nothing to a guy like him. He'd just think he paid his way out of it and go right back to pulling the same crap, or worse. I looked around. Not a soul in the fields. Just the wind moving through the crops with a quiet rustle, like it was mocking me in silence. I crouched down and reached out to touch that pipe. Still leaking sewage, cold, hard. My eyes traced past the pipe and locked onto the foundation of Wang Fugui's villa. I started mapping out the sewage pipe's path in my head, then calculated the exact distance between his foundation and my land. And slowly, my eyes went still, like a lake, deep and bottomless, calm on the surface, but with something dangerous churning underneath. That night, I didn't watch TV like I usually do. Instead, I pulled out our family's old farming handbook, passed down from my great-great-grandfather, full of old-school folk wisdom most people had forgotten. My fingers slowly flipped through the pages, until I landed on the section about poplar trees. It said, poplars grow fast. Their root systems are aggressive, with extreme penetrating power, can hold soil together, and crack through stone. The corner of my mouth moved. A slow smile crept across my face, the kind nobody could read. The next morning, before the sun was even up, I was out in the field with my hoe. The early risers in the village who saw me all assumed I was going to clean up the ruined seedlings, but I didn't. Instead, I went around the contaminated patch entirely and headed to the other end of the field, quietly digging drainage ditches, one swing at a time, steady and deliberate. Dirt flying. Nobody knew what I was planning. Nobody knew that a carefully calculated years-long revenge had just quietly begun. The old diesel water pump I borrowed from the edge of the village roared to life, deafening. I shoved the thick intake hose deep into the rice field, blackened and soaked through with sewage. The murky liquid, mixed with rotting seedlings, got sucked straight into the pipe and pumped out the other end into a distant drainage ditch. The whole village could smell the stench spreading through the air. Every passerby covered their nose. They shot me looks, a mix of pity, confusion, and some satisfaction at my misfortune. Old Chen, one of the elders who watched me grow up, leaning on his cane, shuffled over to me slowly. Xiaoli, what the heck are you doing? You pumping it all dry just to replant from scratch? You know how much work that's gonna take? This field's a total loss for the year, he sighed, eyes full of heartbreak. I shook my head. Not planting rice anymore. Not planting rice? Old Chen's voice shot up like 8 notches. If you don't plant rice, what are you and your mom gonna eat? This land has been in your family for generations. I didn't explain myself. Just stood there in silence, watching that field get drained dry, eyes blank, stubborn. Right then, a car horn blared out of nowhere. Wang Fugui. That brand new black sedan screeched to a stop, right at the edge of the field berm. He rolled down his window and stuck out that fat head of his, grinning like he owned the world. Well, Layboy, I almost thought you converted your rice field into a fish pond. That smell is something else, huh? How do you even put your hands in water that nasty? A few villagers watching from the side let out some muffled laughs. I slowly raised my head and looked at him. Steady, calm. That one look was dead silent, ice cold. He blinked, thrown off, clearly didn't expect that reaction from me. In his script, I was supposed to break down crying, or charge at him screaming and cursing, and then he could look down at me and toss some cash on the ground, dismiss me like a beggar. But I didn't give him that. I looked away. Turned around without a word and kept adjusting the pump hose, completely unbothered like nothing happened. He'd thrown a punch and hit nothing but air. Bored and annoyed, he spat on the ground, muttering curses, then hit the gas and peeled out. That son of a... Old Chen was shaking with rage. That's too much, way too much. Xiaoli, don't be scared. I'm going to the village committee to sort this out. It's okay, Uncle Chen. I held him back. It won't help. Trying to reason with someone like him just makes you look weak. A few days later, the field was finally drained. What used to be a rice paddy was now a cracked, stinking pit of mud. Then a truck pulled up, drawing even more confused stares from the villagers, and stopped right at my field. It wasn't carrying rice seeds, wasn't fertilizer. It was bundle after bundle of poplar saplings. The small ones, thin as a thumb, the bigger ones, already as thick as my arm. I unloaded them from the truck one by one, carefully stacking them along the field berm. And the village gossip started buzzing again. That kid has lost his mind. He's got perfectly good rice he could be growing, and he's out here planting useless trees? I heard ever since his dad passed. He's never been quite right in the head. Ha 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 ha. Li Chuan, you've gone broke and crazy, or trees, really. Even if you want to grow a money tree, at least pick a decent spot. You're trying to grow something in that sewage-soaked mud pit? What exactly do you think's gonna come out of that? Honestly, you're just like your old man. Not right in the head. The words "your old man" hit me like a knife to the chest. My hose stopped mid-swing. A crushing pain tore through my chest. But I didn't look up, didn't say a word back. Just swung that hoe harder, over and over. Wang Fugi, just wait. You're gonna find out real soon. Whether I planted trees or your downfall, thunder rolled through the sky. The first spring rain soaked into the parched earth. Every poplar sapling I'd planted had started pushing out tiny bright green shoots, racing each other to the top. Those little specks of green stood out sharp against the gray-white dirt.